Good evening and welcome to Jackal Garage. I'm your host, Mike, and tonight I am flying solo. Jeff can't be with us this evening, so I'm going to kind of just jump in and start showing the projects that I'm working on. Hello, Adam. How you doing, buddy? It's good to have you with me tonight. Um, I'm at the exciting phase of what I really enjoy the most about Gaslands, and that is I've got a bunch of newer projects. Um, can't make it again. Okay. Thanks for stopping in and saying hi, Joe. But I got a bunch of projects on the bench, and I'm at the creative stage, and that's something I really enjoy a lot about Gaslands. Is that when you've got the car that you're working on, and you're just kind of figuring out what modifications you want to make to it, what parts you want to add to it, and I'm kind of at that stage with a couple cars, and then I'm kind of got some other cars that are getting ready to get painted. So what I'll probably do is just jump right into the projects that I'm working on. I'm excited to share them with you. Also, this week, A Billion Suns comes out. It's released on the 23rd. So I don't know if that is a release to distributors or if stores are actually going to have A Billion Suns in the shop this week. But I'm getting excited about the game. Joe shared with me today a video from Gorilla Miniatures or Gorilla Games. They did. Ash did a quick playthrough of the rules, and it looks interesting. It's got some cool mechanics to it that make it not just a shoot up the opponent type of a game. So I'm kind of getting excited about that game. But yeah, so hopefully we get it this week so I can start playing it. And I guess there's some solo rule variants out for the game as well through War Games Illustrated. No promises with the shipping issues. Yeah, oh, that is true. With all the snowstorms taking place and everything, shipping has become quite complex for everything. Let's see though. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. So I'm gonna go ahead and just jump onto the bench and show you guys kind of where I'm at with everything. Forgot to cover my light. Sorry about that. So we got a few projects that I'm excited to get going. The first one I want to talk about is this is the Volkswagen Bug that I added that black is or that brown's super flat. I added the little housing up top, put the barrel in, but I got the engine painted up. And what I did is I ended up adding 2 exhaust tubes, and I flared out the ends simply by, this is just PVC piping or plastic tubing, and I just flared out the ends with a screwdriver. I took a Phillips screwdriver and just drilled it in. It flared out the ends. Just gave them a nice look. And then I got that engine painted up the way I wanted it. I still want to paint the very tips of the propeller red. And then for the body, what I'm going to do for that is I'm going to use the chipping fluid. And you guys being on the channel for a while are familiar with the things I did with the chipping fluid on my Necron project. I painted up all my Necrons and chipped them all up. Well, I also did it to this Volkswagen bus. Just gave it a really weathered look and chipped it down. I got a little carried away on this project because it was the first one I did, and I was just trying to get used to how the chipping fluid worked and just kind of mess around with it. But yeah, I think I'm going to do that to this. So I got the base coat of the dark brown down. And then what I'll do is I'll go through and do some different types of rust and effects like that. And then I'll airbrush it all red with the chipping fluid. And then I'm just going to chip it all up and kind of make it look like that Volkswagen bus. But once that's done, this car is pretty much going to be done. So I'm excited to get this one on the table. And I got those cool wheels on it from Dice Mechanic Games. So this one's getting there. This car, so you guys saw me working on this one last week and got it all primed up. But during the week, because I was on vacation last week, and getting used to going back to work hasn't been a lot of fun. But I was on vacation last week, and I don't know if you all remember this car or not, but the pipes off the side were just kind of like flat bars. There was no detail left to them. So what I ended up doing was taking some plastic tubing and slicing it down the middle and taking some of it off and slid them down that bar, and then added some epoxy sculpt to finish them out. And now those are done. And I think that looks a lot better for the car. Those tubes, actually, those pipes are actually sticking out. So I'm happy with those. So what this car is going to get is just basically paint from here. We already got the machine gun barrels on the front here. So I'll paint up the engine, paint some of the details. And this is going to be a 3-tone vehicle. So the top, basically from this detail here, like this stripping, that's all going to be red. Then the sides are going to stay gray, and then the fenders are going to be painted black. So it'll be a 3-tone paint job. So it's going to be kind of cool. And then this is going to also have an Imperial Outpost logo sticker on it. The other thing that I'm working on is the 2021 Ford Bronco. So my wife is actually looking at purchasing a Ford Bronco. We got our name. We were put on the waiting list, and we actually went down and met with the dealership. I think we've talked about that on the show before. So I wanted to paint one up in the colors that she actually wanted that they don't offer. She wants kind of like a robin bird blue egg body with a white top. But what I want to do is I want to take the spare tire off, because I don't want the spare tire on there. So I need to cover up this hole. So tonight, that's one of the projects we're going to work on, is I've got my plastic card out. That's kind of want to show you how I go through the process of covering up that hole or that detail and getting rid of that. So that's one of the first things we're going to start with. Also on this Ford Bronco is I'm going to take the wheels off of this car. This is one of the Hot Wheel Real Riders. These are the more expensive cars because they have the rubber tires that you can actually take off the car. And they've got some really nice tread pattern on them. So I'm going to go ahead and take this car apart and take these wheels off and put them on this Bronco. They're about the same size. If you look at them as a comparison, they're about the same size. I just like these tires a lot better. And I'm just going to paint the rims white to match the top of the Bronco. And then with that blue, it should look stunning when it's done. And then this body, I'll go ahead and just put on some Gasland wheels, get some cool wheels on this. And with this sunroof in the back here, which is very unique, I'll go ahead and chop that out, put a guy up there with a machine gun sticking out the top. And it's already got a front bumper and a rear bumper, which could be a Ram if I choose to use it as such. Or it's just a cool little detail. So this will get Gaslanded up once I get done chopping that up. And the other project that I'm getting excited about, this is my Volkswagen drag bus that I've had that I've got the track wheels for. Got it all stripped down, got all the chrome stripped, all the paint stripped off of it. And what I need to do next is get this part fitted. And I decide, after looking at everything and taking some measurements, this plastic has, it's going to be kind of hard to show because it's so much black. You can kind of see these ridges right here that are sticking up. If I cut that plastic straight off, this will fit straight down and it should be a good fit. So that's basically what I'm going to end up doing with this is cutting those off, setting this in, and then I'll build a platform and everything. So I have a glue point, and then I'll start getting this all worked up and getting it going. So This is another project that I'm really excited about, that I'm just at the early stages. But I've got some of the design stuff down. So once I get the tracks on it and everything, this thing's going to look outstanding. So those are the projects I got on the bench. I still have this old truck, and we've talked about this already, just putting the machine guns on. I just haven't really had any time to do anything with it. But it is on the bench, and it will get done. So I want to go ahead and get started on this, because this is going to be the big project for tonight. And what I need to do is find my mechanical pencil so I can get some real lead out. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm really just going to get this put in place on screen. It's important that I stay on screen. And then with my mechanical pencil, just kind of measure it out. So I have my measurements. You can see them there. And since I measured them, what I want to do is I want to cut outside the line just to give me enough space for the plastic, because I'd rather file the plastic down than have to recut the plastic. So I'll cut just a little bit outside the line. And what I'm going to use are these tin snips. So I have these for a cutting plastic card, believe it or not, because this is a thick piece of plastic card. And if I use regular scissors to cut this, it will actually cause a lot of damage to the plastic. But when I use the shears, I get a nice, good, clean cut. So sometimes it pays to have some of these ridiculously sized tools in your collection. And I want to cut it in such a way that I have something to hold on to. So that way I can size it all up once I get it cut. So as you can tell, I cut a little big, which is exactly what I wanted, because now I can just use a file and sand it and file it down to get the exact fit to make it work for this this build. Oop, wrong sending stick. There we go. So this is kind of part of the process I go through. All the fun stuff. I really like adding these kind of details to any of the cars that I build. It just makes them it's the little things that make them stand out better on the table. All right, so, and hopefully I'll be able to get them on the table soon. I miss gaming. All right. Hey, good evening, David. How you doing, buddy? All right. Even David shared today on Discord. There's a podcast called Paint All the Minis. And they had Mike Hutchinson on that, talking about A Billion Suns also. So we're getting a lot of hype around the game. So can't wait. Just hoping, the rules look intense. There just looks like there's a lot going on in this game. It's not going to be anything like Gaslands. It's not going to be that beer and pretzel kind of game that Gaslands is. The contract thing is very unique. It gives a very unique feel to the game itself. And it just adds a whole nother layer. To me, it's almost a little bit like Blood Bowl. One of the things that I always have a problem with when I play Blood Bowls, I forget to score. I'm so busy trying to beat up the opponent that I forget that I'm actually supposed to run the ball down to the infield and score points. And I'm afraid that's probably going to happen to me with a billion suns. Is I'm going to get so wrapped up into uh, going out and hunting down the opponent, I'm going to forget to score my contracts. And yeah, that could be a problem. That could be a situation. All right, so that's oh boy, looks good. I got the rules for my Kindle. That's how I pretty much know I'll get all my books. I didn't, so it's already out for Kindle, huh? That's interesting. I should probably look at getting a Kindle. Yeah, I don't know when it's actually going to hit the market for people to buy the hard copies, but that's cool that you already got it for the Kindle. All right, you guys, that's pretty much what I was going to do here is get this done. It wasn't hard, as you guys all watched. That was pretty simple. This isn't a very complex piece. It's not 100% flat. Just that side there, they got like it kind of flares out a little bit. That's why tracing it made it a lot easier to do this. So I got this thinner piece of plastic. And what I want to do is build this up in the back so that way I can glue this on into the front and it'll have some back support. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. For this, because this is just a thin piece of plastic card, I can just use my regular scissors and just cut this stuff and it won't be a problem. I don't know where my plastic went. Okay. And what we want to accomplish here is all we want to do is add back support. So, and what we can do is just glue this onto this. And then when the glue dries, just glue it all into here. And then I'll fill in all the gapping with epoxy sculpt. And this will be done, because then I'll just cut the bottom off with the my snips. And this will be done. It's pretty simple stuff. Yeah, flying solo tonight. Jeff is couldn't be with us. He's okay. He just couldn't be with us this evening, and he should be back Wednesday for sure. But yeah, Jeff just has to take care of Jeff right now, so that's important. So you guys get to listen to me ramble on. I know I'm super exciting that way. So I'm just going to put a little, if I can get any super glue out, dab of super glue there. And the one thing I'm going to want to do is make sure I clean up the super glue that squeezes out from underneath it, because the super glue will dry hard and then it won't fit. So I'm going to give that a little bit of time to dry. Then we'll glue it into place, and then we'll cut it off and it'll be good. And I'm excited about getting this one done. This is just going to be a custom build. There won't be any guns added to this. This is just going to be a car. I'm building it for my wife, and I just wanted to paint it the color that she wanted, because unfortunately Ford does not offer the color that she wanted. Like I said, she wanted that robin blue egg color, or Tiffany blue, I guess you could call it that too. And we want to take the spare tire off, so I should probably just go ahead and cut that off now. And then I can save the spare tire for a Gaslands build. Maybe put it on like the hood of a car, or I don't know, just put it on a car. So again, you guys know my method for taking stuff off. I just wiggle the knife back and forth, and then it goes away. Now, I probably could have just put this in place, and it would have been just fine. But I didn't want to do that because I wanted to make sure this piece gets painted and everything fits and everything's good, and I can paint up the interior separate. So that's why I didn't use the existing plastic. Now I got a cool spare tire to do something with. Maybe strap that onto the... Oh, should I strap it onto the bug? Could strap it onto the bug. What do you guys think? Should I put it on the bug? Or should I put it on the truck? Like put it on the hood of the truck. What do you guys think? It's just a good piece. I don't want to let it go to waste. So we will figure something out. And then this just needs to be, oops, sorry. This just needs to be sanded down to be flat. And I'll probably do most of that off of camera. But there you go. All right. So that had a little bit of time to dry. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come in and just glue this in place. And then I'll let that dry overnight, or at least a while, because then I'm going to have to cut this off. And that's going to be a thick piece of plastic. So I'm going to want to be careful cutting that off. And we'll be good. So let me get one thing, though. I want to get my tweezers ready. So this way, when I stick this in like this, I got my tweezers out so I can press down on the back to make sure I'm getting a good glue surface. That's all. All right, got the glue down. It's go time. And all I want to do is just make sure I get a nice good glue surface here. By the time I'm done with this, you guys are going to never notice that there was a hole there at all. It's going to be kind of nice when it's done. Again, this is just going to be one of those show pieces. And then the bottom still fits, so it actually fills some of the gapping that was back there, which is no big deal. It wasn't that big of a deal. All right. So that's that. So I'll give this a while to dry so I don't mess up, because you guys know how super glue can be. If you don't let it dry long enough, you go to mess with it. First of all, you're going to get it all over your hands. And second, it's just going to make a mess. So what I'll do is I'll cut it. I'll get the epoxy sculpt and I'll put that all inside to fill all those gaps. And then I'll just sand it down, shoot it with primer again. And the way I'm going to paint this is basically this line here back is going to be white. This line here and back is going to be white. And just along there is going to be cut off. So basically I want like a little bit of the lip of the door frames to be that blue. And then everything down here is going to be white. It's going to look sharp when it's done. So I think you guys will appreciate it. And this is just going to be a custom Hot Wheel. So I'm looking forward to that. Next thing I want to work on is this. This is going to be my drag bus that I started working with. There's actually a fin, like a tail fin that sticks out here. But what we need to do is modify this piece of plastic so that I can set this in and then build up some support so that I have a glue spot to hang this in. And if all my measurements were correct, I should be able to just cut some of this plastic off and we'll be good to go. And that's why I love the way my shop is set up. I can pretty much get to any of my tools pretty quickly. Got caught up a little bit. All right. Should probably pull out the jeweler's saw for this. The smell of heated up plastic is fantastic. All right. So we got that one off. Again, this was a guesstimation based on my measurements. So I'm kind of hoping this all works out. I got bits of plastic all over the place, but that's okay. That's why we sweep them onto the rug on the floor. All right. So let's see if I did this correctly. It's kind of looking like they were at a little bit more of an angle than I thought. But it looks like it's going to work. So I need to cut these off so I can move it back. But the idea is that these are going to become my support to hold the chassis in place. That's kind of what I'm working on for this. So let me snip these away. All right. Getting all the detail stuff done. Perfect. So, believe it or not, it actually needs to be cut lower so that the oops, let me get it back in place. Kind of needs to be cut lower so the tanks are higher up. So my goal is to have it more to be sitting more like this. Sorry. So have it sitting more like that. So I want those tanks a little bit higher up. And the way I got these cut, they need to come down quite a bit more. I'm thinking a good 1/4 inch. Yeah, probably a good 1/4 inch. Drop those down and it should be good to go. So this time, what I'll do is cut from the outside. This is the fun stuff. Trying to get everything to work. Then I'll just take the piece I just cut off to kind of give me a guideline on where I need to cut. Oh, I didn't show you guys my photos. Oh, I totally forgot. So if you guys went to Discord, you probably saw that I posted my recent Gaslands build up on the Discord channel. But then I had some fun with my photos. And let me show you. I've got this cool program on my phone, and I can do these cool effects with my photos, just adding like flames and different things like that. So I started messing around with this and having just a little fun, taking our whole background wars to a different level. And that one I was just doing to have fun. But this is the one that I really wanted to show off, because this is probably the coolest one I've ever done. And that I just have the smoke coming out the exhaust pipe. It's subtle, but I really think it looks cool. Thanks, David. The background's just a picture on my computer screen. And I like doing that because the camera kind of buzzes it out, kind of blurs it a little bit so that the car stands out a little bit more. But this was just a lot of fun adding that smoke effect. So just doing my part to contribute to the background wars kind of thing that we've been joking about on our shows. With everybody doing their crazy, with all their 40K stuff and whatnot. I just wanted to do my cool Gasland stuff. So it's just a neat program. The smoke actually looks like it's hitting the back tire. It is hitting the back tire. That was kind of I wanted it to look like it was kind of rolling over that back tire. So. And all the program it's Warble or something like that. You can just you can move the overlays around and do different things to them, sizing them, and you can't really you can't change the overlay. So like that smoke is just a stream of smoke, so you can't change that in any way, shape, or form. But you can make it smaller, wider, longer, things like that. You can change the colors of it if you wanted to. They do have some graphic stuff that you can change, but not a lot. It's pretty simple. All right, so we cut some more off, but this piece is starting to get in the way. I may have cut just a little bit too much off. I'm going to want to cut this because I want to save this back bumper as much as I can. Where's my block? Let's see if I can do this without... Woo! Ooh, this makes a lot of plastic mess. All right. Let's see how this turns out. So if I cut too much off, it's an easy fix though, because I can just build it back up with plastic. Actually, I think I did just fine. Have a good night, Mike. Today was exhausting, so I'm going to cut it short. Yes. Thank you for stopping by, David. You and me both. My day was extremely exhausting. But thank you for stopping by. Have yourself a great evening. All right. So that's kind of what we're looking for right there. The gas tank caps are actually hitting the body, and I'm okay with that. I may end up cutting them off because they're actually causing it not to be able to hit the whole bottom. Let's get those cut off real fast. Woohoo! That went flying someplace in my room. There we go. It's a perfect fit. That's exactly what I was going for on this car. So if you're not familiar with the design of this car is going to be, I've got these cool tank treads, I guess is the best way to say it. It's actually, this bottom is off of it was a snow plow. Just something Hot Wheels did a long time ago. And my overall vision is have it look like that. So with the plastic in place, I should be able to glue it all down and just have it look just right. Now, what I'm going to do back here is kind of the same thing I did with that Bronco. Is I'm going to fill in this plastic. I'm going to leave the tube sticking out of the whatever we want to call that. I'm going to make that a gun. I'm going to just say it's just a large caliber gun of some sort. So, but I want to cover up the rest of this opening. So that'll look cool. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. And then this is a little step up into the bug up, and it all falls apart. So that's what that's going to be. And this is the fin that actually goes on the back like that. So I haven't decided anything other than this large gun in the back being there. So I don't know if I'm going to do any kind of machine guns on the side or any kind of rams or anything like that. I think the tracks are going to be more than sufficient for this build. It's going to be kind of a crazy build once it's all said and done. But I'm going to love it. This is just going to be really cool. And can't wait to get it done. And this is what gets me excited about this game. Is got all these cars, and it's just having fun doing this. These kind of crazy builds. All right, so plastic all over the place. This is kind of dry, so woohoo! Took it all off. And then we'll file down this piece a little bit. I'm actually thinking about taking this post off too, just so it's not seen through the window. For when this being a custom build, I'm going to glue the bottom in anyways, even though I've got it screwed in. I think it's just going to look better if it's all glued in. And all my projects got done pretty quickly. I guess that's just kind of when you're focused on it, you can just get stuff done. And then from here, it's just epoxy sculpted. And man, this is going to look awesome. So I got to build that up with epoxy sculpt. I kind of wish I took the time to drill this out over the weekend. I was just on vacation, so I was kind of putzing around doing other stuff and didn't really give myself the time to work on this. But I'll get it done during the week, and I think these wheels will look cool on this build. And then I'll have a cool car to do stuff with. Let me pull out the epoxy sculpt real fast and get this in motion. There we go. Adam, are you going to play A Billion Suns? Is that a game you're interested in? I know Joe's going to be interested in it. I know you got your 3D printer, so you should be able to build some cool ships. All right, epoxy sculpt. If you haven't used this stuff, this is the best stuff to use for modeling, because it's super sandable. Not like green stuff can be sanded down. It's just a lot harder to sand down. This stuff sands super quickly, and I just really like it. Just going to press some in. I'm just going to take my flat blade. You can use water, but if you do, you want to use very little, because this stuff does not like water. And then I'm just going to push it in and covering the whole piece that I built with the epoxy sculpt. Because then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll sand it all flat. And yeah, it'll be done. So that's that. So this will take at least, I'll give this a good 24 hours to dry. I know I said I was going to give this longer to dry, but kind of running out of stuff to do. So just wanted to get it done. There you go. Just that simple. So this is done. This is done. So I'm happy about this. It's turned out just the way I wanted it to. So I'll start getting it all glued together. There's going to be no interior in this car because the way this car was designed with the interior, it was like a single-seater type vehicle. So I'm just going to put a tight screen mesh on the windows and call it good. Actually, we could probably just do that now. Since I'm ahead of the curve on everything. Get my aluminum mesh out. And cut me off some pieces. And what I'll end up doing, if you can see, I'm going to stretch it so that it just gets a little bit tighter so that it's not going to be as easy to see through, kind of hiding the interior or the lack of interior on this build. So let me get this cut. this stuff, I'll make sure I get this in the trash because you don't want to step on little shards of aluminum. So let me get another window piece cut. Again, I'm just gonna kind of compress it down a little bit because I actually want to hide the windows. Kind of taking one of Jeff's approaches and not doing the interior. So you'll still see screen, but it's going to be kind of more filling in the spot versus showing a lot of the interior. It's just simply, I don't have an interior for this build. So, oops. I'll end up doing the windows one by one. I like it. Now this comes the hard part. Trial and error, trial and error. So where did everything go? There we go. A little bit of glue on the hands. So I just get a little bit down. I'm not going to mess with it too much. Because I want to let the glue set up a little bit before I start really pushing on it. Looks like I can get a little bit more. But you can kind of see what I'm going for on this. Just trying to hide the fact that I don't want people to be able to see inside. I know that's kind of unlike me. But I don't have an interior for it. Like I said, the car just didn't have one. This was one of like those big monster trucks that they sell. And just want to compress it down. Should be good with that. I'm drifting off camera a lot tonight. Sorry about that. So there's the second side. And when that glue sets up a little bit better, what I'll do is I'll go in and trim up the little bit over here so that I can get that last piece in, because I'm probably going to do these two windows separately. As you can see, there's this bar right there. So I'll probably just do one window at a time, just so I can get the best possible look for it. But that's going to have to dry. So And that's get this put away. Yeah. The hard part about having all this screen meshing is it's hard to. I should put it in a folder versus a bag. Yeah, I'll just give up and put it away later. All right, so this piece is still good, so I can use that, but those pieces are no good. Sweep those into my little trash can. Anyways, you guys, all my projects that I had planned out for today done. Normally we chat for a while before we start working and go over stuff, but didn't have anything really to chat about, so I think I'm just gonna call it a night because I got to let these windows dry in the car. Here you can see me. I'm messing with them, and I know I shouldn't be messing with these windows, but that's just what I do. But I think the screen mesh looks good in there, and I'll get them all trimmed up and get the front done, and then start painting on this after I cover up this back. This will be all cleaned up probably tomorrow night. Start hitting it with the whites and getting all my base colors down, and have this ready for paint this weekend. This one's just going to be a lot of airbrush work on this. So I'm going to get some rust effect, and I'm going to kind of sponge some different browns and colors all over this. And then I'll seal it, and then I'll hit it with the chipping medium and then a base of red, and then I'll go chip it all up. And then this project just needs paint. So I just need to get a bunch of paint done on this. And then this, I still need to figure out how I want to put those barrels on. So let me switch cameras back. Boom. Anyways, you guys, it wasn't a long show, but an hour of work straight. I've got a lot done for what I was setting out to do. I was kind of surprised that this project on the Bronco went so quickly. I thought it was going to take longer, but that just took a few minutes, and I was done. So, and then the bus work was quick and easy work also. So, anywho, I don't really have anything else. Everything else is going to be done off camera because it's all spray work and things like that. So, I don't really have anything else left to do this evening. I got done pretty quick. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out. Again, thank you guys for watching. Adam, it's always great to have you stop by and keep me company while I ramble on and work on my little Hot Wheels. Good times. Thank you very much. We'll be back. Should be back Wednesday night with the Wolf's Den. If not, then we'll definitely be back Saturday morning because I need to finish up on my buddy's model and get that off my desk. And then I can start working on some of my projects. I got a bunch of D&D figures that I want to get painted up and things like that. So I'll be moving forward with those on Saturday mornings. But again, thank you all very much. Adam, thank you very much for stopping in. And I'll catch you guys Wednesday night. So until then, take care. Have a great week working and doing the things that we have to do so we can afford our hobbies. So I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.